Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are working on the wife's 2015 Subaru Outback again. Today just some general aesthetic cleanup. Let's take a look. So we're sitting just at about 185,000 miles, and last year we started getting a little tear in the seam here in the leather, and I went ahead and did some, I think it was a JB Weld repair kit, but some plastic or leather repair kit for seats, and it held pretty well until about a month or two ago, and we're going to go ahead and fix that today. It's not an overly complicated process. The biggest thing is making sure of two things. One, your seat is in the utmost position when you remove it, and two, you've got 4 bolts in the seat to remove it from the vehicle, and you'll have to slide the seat forward and back in order to get access to those. Once you do that, there's a couple of electric plugs that come out, and the entire seat should come out of the vehicle. After that, remove the old cushion, replace it with a new one. There's a couple of plastic clips, retainers, and some metal hog ring clips to remove and replace. So let's just start taking this thing apart. Now, in front of your 4 bolts, you've got little plastic caps, beauty covers, whatever you want to call them. You'll have to remove those. These particularly, just a little clip, push down, and then it pops off. Nothing too complicated there. Just be careful you don't break off this clip like it did in the X5, and it no longer stays in place. Once those caps have been removed, I've got a 14 mil socket on my end to take these bolts out. We'll go ahead and get that done. All right, I've gotten those bolts out, little beauty covers off, and the 4 connectors removed. One of them was a little problematic. Everyone else kind of push and pull. This one will sort of push and pull the other way onto the seat itself. I'll show you when I get it out. But let's go ahead and grab it. I'm going to bring it out through the driver's seat. It is helpful if the steering wheel is pushed in all the way, if you've got telescoping steering, and then up all the way as well. So we'll grab that. And one disclaimer, PSA, you may want to disconnect your battery since you are working with the airbag stuff. It's always a good idea to do that when you're doing anything electrical. So just make sure, I should probably back up and say this a couple minutes ago. But anyways, let's get the seat out. Well, there wasn't a ton of food in there, but I'll probably vacuum it out as long as the seat's out. But here's the seat. Let's flip it over so you can see it better. So it's this plug right here that was pushed up against here, so I pulled that off, and then through a series of just fiddling with the little connector, I'll show you in the car before I put it back in, managed to come off. And once it did, it was easy, but trying to figure out where to push everything was not fun. Especially since it's like 85 degrees up here in the garage today and there's no air conditioning, so any working in a confined space like this is not fun. So looking here, we have a few things to take off, a couple of cushion type things, restraints, plastic clips. Just go ahead and start removing those. There's some items in here, like for our seatbelt sensor, so we can get this little thingamajiggy off, however we do that. Again, these little plastic things are just sort of a pain in the butt. And when they come off, usually they come off and you end up slicing your finger on something. So that has to come loose. I think that's the only one here. And have some plastic clips here. One down here. Not too tough so far, right? And a big one up front. There's our heated seat under here. We don't want to do anything to damage that. And in here we have, let me get you in closer. Alrighty, down here is one of those hog rings I was telling you about. There's one at the base and one here up at the top. Of course, we're looking at the back of the seat now, so we'll have to go ahead and cut those off. I'm just going to use the side cutters here to cut these old rings. They are not reusable. Sure, if you really wanted to, you could find a way, but I don't, and I'm not. Get the old remnants out of the seat. One little more stub right here to grab. That's one thing you don't want poking you in the rear end. Here we go. And there's 2 more clips down here. Yeah, we'll get those in a second. Let me work on getting this plastic piece, this electrical fitting off so we can get this out. Try and be gentle to get it off its little plastic base. There we go. You know what, that just has a little zip tie through it. I can replace a zip tie because I don't like these stupid little plastic. Of course, my pliers cuts metal, but not zip ties. There we go. This is out. Now we can see everything is pretty well coming off the side, the front. There we go. Hopefully those are the right ones. Let me flip the seat up. See, is there anything over here? Just getting this plastic clip. It looks like we have, yeah, a little more work to do. There we go. Loosen this up. Just a screw back here to take out. Little Phillips screwdriver, don't mind him. He's just holding on the outside molding of the driver's seat where all your buttons and switches and doodads are. That should now come out. We can get this side of the, let me show you here, twist it quick. Stay. There's just a bar coming out here that the fabric hooked around. So, not a big deal to get the old material off, but to get the new on, we don't want to damage it. We have our seat foam. More of those hog rings in here, looks like. So, go ahead and cut those out. Just want to take a look at what else I'm working with here, make sure the foam isn't deteriorated. See the best way to get this out. I need to go find something to drink. I'm thirsty. Hold that thought. Alrighty, I'm back. I went and got a little soda, cooled down a little bit, and now we're gonna go ahead and take this bottom cushion off, and I've got it pretty much loosened from the seat itself, except for back here, right where it joins the seat back. And for that, we just kind of push it through and give a little tug, and it should come out. We want to be careful so we don't damage the seat foam when we take it out, because that again is not an inexpensive thing to replace. And we have our plugs here for our seat heater and airbag, seatbelt sensor, whatever lights. Whatever these 2 plugs do, we're taking them off. Again, just different styles of clips and pins, and push and pull, and out they come. So, Here's our old cushion and pad or cover. Let's go ahead and set our seat down for a while, get the rest of our food and snacky crumbs out of here as long as we're in here. And actually not too bad for 8 years old. Old stuff. Let's take a look at our new stuff. Bubble wrap. Spider. So this here is the genuine Subaru seat cover. Again, this model must be some dealer special order deal that we got because the VIN on the car does not match the upholstery option. I ordered the original part number I found for the car based off the wizard from the Subaru parts website, and it was not correct. That one was $160. This one was about $230. Oh well. But it is a genuine Subaru part. I know there are lots of knockoffs online, but talked with the wife about it, and we could just put seat covers on it, whatever, but being the fact that the car is in such excellent condition otherwise, both cosmetically and mechanically, we decided to go ahead and get the correct Subaru branded part and put it on and go on with life. So, now we have our new metal framing in this new seat fabric. And in here, if we look, we have these hog rings that we have to cut out and replace. Let me come up here and show you. In here, if you can see, we have our metal framing in here, and somewhere here is one of those hog rings. There, if I can. It's tough for you to see at your angle. Maybe I can move the cushion. Maybe not. Anyways, it's in there. I'll show you when I take it out. But I'm just going to take note of where these things are. There's one here, one here, one here, and one in the rear. So there's like 4 of these little hog rings. If I cut them out, kidding. Two, 3, 4. And if somebody wants to condemn me for using this nice side cutters, I found that building our shop a couple years ago, laying in the mud, and nobody claimed it. So I don't know where it came from. Maybe from the concrete crew? Who knows? But it wasn't from any of our friends. So we got this side clipped out. Go ahead and zip through the passenger or the other side here. There we go. Here's our old broken cushion out. Again, we've got that rip in here. That's neat. Excess heating. I don't know what that brown is from. Extra heating, who knows? I'll just, yeah. Coffee spill, who knows? Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get the cushion cleaned up, get all those old ring pieces cleaned out, grab our cushion, grab our new hog ring pliers, and we'll get back to working on putting the new one back on. Alrighty, well, excuse the noise in the background. I've got the fan running to keep a little bit cooler out here. Anyways, we've got our new DeWalt hog ring pliers, and there's Many different options out there. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could just use a pliers and make it work, but seeing as I've got at least two vehicles, possibly a third to do upholstery work on, I know I'm going to need a lot more of these, and this just seemed dead simple. You put your sleeve of rings in there just like a staple gun, bring it up, see them in here, focus on the thing, not me, there we go. Super simple. Push it in, squeeze it. There you go. And now you've got your nice little ring. There we go, look at that. So let's go ahead, let's put our new cushion, or our new seat cover on our cushion. And again, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 2 on the bottom towards the back of the padding. So again, here's our new stuff. I'm going to do just as I took it off, work from the middle here. Man, it'd be a real bummer if I got these mixed up and put the old one back on. That would be actually rather comical. I mean, for you, not for me. Anyways, now the big thing is to see if this pliers fits down there. That's my only concern. Hopefully it does. And then I can get both rings, or both pieces of metal lined up. Push it in. Give it a squeeze. And there we go. Well, except I missed one. All right, not hard to do. I just need to make sure I get around both pieces of the metal bar. All right, try this again. Yeah, got it. Not too hard. All right, I'm gonna zip through the rest of these in some unchoreographed time lapse. Maybe zoom in a little so you can see what I'm doing. Alrighty, there we go. Go ahead and cover our fabric back over. There we go, there is our new cushion. Here is our old one. And you know, it does show some wear, it's shinier, but I don't see a great deal of fade in the color over the 8 years we've had the car. So it's not gonna look horribly out of place when it's put back in the car. But let me go ahead, get this thing reassembled on the seat, get the inside cleaned out underneath it, and we'll go ahead, bolt it back in, and see how it looks. Alrighty, we've got everything buttoned up. Our seat cushions are on, all of our plastic retainers are back on, our clips, our wiring, our hog rings down here, and it looks pretty good. And it may show up a little bit different for you on camera, but really the only difference I noticed between the original one and the brand new one is this one just a little bit shinier from wear. And color match, perfect. I really can't complain for swapping in a brand new cover in an 8-year-old car, and it looks great. So I've already vacuumed underneath the seat, and most of that was just crumbs from the kids in the back seat. So kudos to the better half for keeping the car clean. Of course, you could take the seats out and clean it anyways and be better. But it was pretty good for what it was. Wasn't tons of Cheetos and French fries and stuff hidden under the seats, so applaud her for that. Drop it in. We've got our 4 bolts and our 4 electrical connectors and our 4 trim covers for our 4 corners where the bolts are, and everything should be good. So let's go ahead and stuff it in the car. With the sharp metal, you want to make sure you're careful going into the car, around the steering wheel and all the interior stuff, because you'd hate to do all this work, put a brand new seat cover on here, and then mar up your steering wheel or some of the other interior with these sharp metal edges. How do I know they're sharp? Well, Tim Zero seat cushion 2. So, got our plugs plugged back in. They only go one direction. They only go one place. Now, if I'm correct, our seat should have power again. Yes. Everything works there. Let's go ahead and set our seat back. Let's go put our back trim pieces on and our hardware. I think that's these. Before I tighten up the back 2 bolts, I want to make sure the front ones are in. Make sure they're lined up, and I think the biggest problem here is that I have messed up my wife's seat preferences. So, luckily I can hit that little button behind me, and everything goes back how it should be. Alrighty, let's take a final look inside here, see what it looks like. Well, there we go. No more tear here, it just looks just like it should. Nice, new and soft. This isn't even so bad, but no more tear, so that's the bonus. It looks pretty good compared to the rest of the vehicle. Matches, like I said. I'm going to call that a win. Alrighty, well, I think we're going to wrap this one up. It was not a hard project to do. Probably would have taken me less than an hour to do if I was not filming and trying to show you guys different things, moving the camera around and whatnot. If I was just plowing through it, maybe 40, 45 minutes max. Again, it's a simple thing you can do at home. You just have to source the part from, in our case, the actual Subaru dealer. Like I said before, there's other vendors online that make knockoffs, but we're going to stick with the OE part just because the rest of the car is in such good shape. We wanted everything to match, and that it does. And also, our Subaru series has kind of been one of the better performing playlists here on our channel, so thank you to all those who have been watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that button below. It doesn't cost you anything, about 2 seconds of your time. And like the video, drop a comment, and also if you're first time here watching, we've got current car projects, restorations, fixes, old stuff, tractor stuff, building stuff, all sorts of stuff. So, thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you real soon in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.